live from the Rant Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis, and my co-host,
Miss Lisa Lombardi. No problem, just solutions for real estate needs.
hot topics and controversial chat. And we're back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my co-host, Miss Lisa Lombardi. How are you, young lady?
I'm doing fabulous today.
Again on this hot winter afternoon.
I know. But it was really cold today, and I'm wearing long sleeve. You just don't never know how to dress, you know, when
Well,
you leave.
Isn't it always that women are cold usually?
Well,
That's terribly sexy.
well, okay, I like that. Keep us warm here. No, but you know what? I think when I leave really early in the morning, I'm leaving at 8 in the morning, so sometimes you don't really know if it's going to be cold or hot.
Well, it's usually overcast at that time.
It is overcast, yes.
Yes. Give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. Real Estate Rant Radio and AGR and Associates are proud sponsors of Michael Aguilar and Associates and Stroke Awareness. You can reach Michael at www.strokeawareness101.com. Mike had a stroke some years back, and he now does seminars and sponsoring teaches some things on how not to have a stroke. So if you'd like to talk to Mike about that, have him
Every day I'm shuffling.
do a presentation. If you'd like to have him do a presentation, give him a call at 562-464-7297.
And I finally got to meet him the other day, actually last week.
Okay, Mr.
Michael and Michael, yeah.
Mr. Mike Aguilar. And we
Yeah.
got to meet Mr. John Kudis as well.
Yeah,
Remember John?
absolutely.
Okay, right on.
And that's going to be exciting for tomorrow.
Yes, real quick. We are having an event tomorrow called Be Inspired at the Citadel, 100 Citadel Drive. It's right above the Wells Fargo Bank in the shopping center there. So visit us. We have two performances at 10 o'clock and then one at 2. And so it'll be Michael Aguilar, Moses Olivares, Rick Rinquillo, and then John Kudis. So it is a free event. There will be appetizers and water provided. So please come join us when you get a chance.
John Kudis was really nice, too.
Super nice.
I'm really excited to hear his story as well, too.
Incredible aura that came off that gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as he walked in the door, and he shook my hand, and man, that guy's got a grip. Let
He
me tell you,
does.
he sure does.
It was great. I was just hanging out with him. I was just on the floor just hanging out because he was just so, I don't know. I think he was just he was a humble man. He was definitely a humble man. So I'm excited to actually hear his story.
Right on. So anyway, as I mentioned before, you can also email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com if you have a gripe, a problem in real estate, or you have a question for myself, Lisa, or in this case, Mr. Sheldon Parker, which happens to be joining us in studio today. You can reach Mr.
All
Sheldon.
right,
How are you,
Sheldon.
sir?
I am doing really well.
Right on. You can reach Sheldon at 562 area code 652-7297. And if you don't happen to get that information, it will be going up throughout the show and also burned into eternity on YouTube.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so this will be re-recorded. Just remember the date, okay? Today's May 20th, 2015. If you email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com, Miss Lisa will get those questions. And what do we get this week, Lisa?
Well, we have a question here from Daniel from Hawthorne. And he says, I received a final modification agreement from my bank with a new loan, terms, and a few forms for signatures. However, there seems to be a subordinated mortgage involved, what I'm not fully aware of. I would like to know if someone could look it over before I sign and return.
Yes. Now, typically, a licensed individual has to look over some of that stuff, but it sounds like he's doing a loan modification. And what I would recommend is to talk to an attorney. Now, it just so happens that, I don't know, do you ever deal with anything like that, Sheldon, in terms of loan modifications and what have you?
I have not recently.
Okay.
In the past, maybe. Yeah.
So what is your take on what he just asked?
Well, I mean, I would follow your advice to speak to a licensed representative to answer those questions to make sure everything's done correctly. I's are dotted, T's are crossed. You don't want to mess around with that.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about subordinate loan, the guy has a second, and
Right.
he's saying that he doesn't know anything about it. I'm kind of not believing that so much. So, Mr. Caller, I'm not calling you a liar, but what I'm saying is that, man, that money went somewhere. So,
Exactly.
and you signed for it, right? If you get a second on a property, it's probably a HELOC or something,
Yeah, usually they are a HELOC. Yep.
right? He signed for it. He got the money, Yeah, exactly. Where's the boat, Or maybe a nice Vegas trip, right?
Maybe.
Well, that's always good to reach out to a real estate attorney.
Right on. So anyway, throughout the show, we also give out a $25 gift card. You can win that $25 gift card at Stevens Steakhouse located in the City of Commerce. Compliments of Eddie Tafoya and Commerce Industrial Council. You can, if you call in at 855-693-4897, you can win that $25 gift card. If you have a question for myself,
everyone.
Lisa, or Sheldon in this case. And also, if you happen to get the design deal, why don't we throw up the design deal there, Mr. Pantalones? If you get this particular design, you can win that $25 gift card. And you can also cheat. You can go on Wikipedia. And, well, it's not cheating necessarily because that's where I got the information. But this is the property that is of interest today. So if you happen to pick A, B, or C, you can't pick the 2 wrong answers. You have to pick the right one. Right, so there it is. Give us a call at 855-693-4897. So, Miss Lisa, did we have another question that came over?
Yes, we do. This is from Anaheim, from a gentleman named David. He says, hello, I'm currently have a property that has been passed down to me from my father and a property that I purchased from my money. I have 2 sons. My elder son is not under my control, and he has made verbal violence against me.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Yikes.
I do not want to pass on any of my property or any of my ownership to him. Do I have to pass my property to him, or can I leave him out or not give him anything? Well, you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to
Yeah.
do
Well,
anything.
we'll say that little disclaimer once again. We're not
Yeah,
attorneys
yes.
here. This is
Oh,
just
yes.
our. These
That's
are just
true.
our. These are just our opinions, and our opinions should always be followed up by an attorney. But I can probably answer that, and you're absolutely right, Lisa. They can do whatever they want with that, but it has to be in writing. I mean, that's what I always tell my folks at my brokerage, as well as other people that ask on that particular situation. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove, and you have to be able to prove it. And having it something notarized just gives it that extra little cherry on top, and typically those are called trusts.
Yes.
You put it in a trust, and the trust has to be followed once that person passes away, right? And
Exactly.
and you have a thought on that, Sheldon?
I do. If you do put your house in the trust and you make one of your sons the trustee, he, or if it was a daughter, she are in charge of all the funds, the property, whatever is in that trust. So your other son,
So this guy's being violent, and he could be pretty much just be left out.
he can be left
and
out.
and there's nothing he can do legally in order to get that property because he really has no rights to it.
There's no rights to it. It's his father's property now, and once it's in the trust, his father can be the trustee, and he can make his other son the successor trustee.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So on that end, if you pass away and you don't have these documents, the state has something for you. They have a will for you already. You know what it's called?
Probate.
Oh, baby.
Probate. Exactly.
Which takes months
Thank
to
you.
years.
Yeah, exactly. So potentially now that son, as being next of kin, could get part of that property,
Yes.
despite the wishes of the individual.
Yeah.
Even if he has a will,
Right.
it still has to go through probate,
Yes.
all that good stuff. And again, we're not attorneys, so
No,
take our opinions with a grain of salt. But I would say that if you were to consult with an attorney, that would probably be the logical conclusion
Yes.
to that question. The other part of it that I wanted to mention is that you have a situation here where a son is being violent with a father. And wow, what this father's concern is not about the violence, it's about the property. And
And also probably with his other son. He doesn't want any conflict to happen or any kind of violence or any harm to his other son as well too.
oh, okay.
And the
I didn't
reason,
think of it that way,
and,
yeah.
and the reason why I say that because I know that in my family there was something when it was my dad's aunt, and one of the sons was, very violent and was, addicted to drugs, and they actually left him out.
Is this an
And-
Italian thing again, Lisa?
Yeah, it was definitely an Italian thing.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, but the most important thing is that unfortunately I think my second cousin, he thought he was going to get something, and fortunately he was very violent with his father, and he didn't leave him anything, not one penny.
And why would they expect that?
I don't know. Unfortunately, I think, the drugs have probably got to him as well too. So
Oh.
sometimes when people are on drugs, they feel like they're entitled to everything
Exactly. That's the key word, entitled. Like, I
Yes.
should just have it because,
because I'm your son.
yes.
So that's what you need to do to become entitled. So I need some drugs then.
I wouldn't advise that.
No,
Heroin,
advise
cocaine,
that.
crack, maybe.
No,
none of
then
that
you will
stuff?
be
No.
out of the trust, out of the family trust.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So I
Yes.
get kicked out. So
You
where,
get nothing.
yeah,
You
exactly.
lose.
Yes.
Good day, sir.
That's isn't that Gene Wilder?
Good day.
Oh, that was from Willy Wonka.
yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah. That was
You
yeah.
get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And for the I remember on that movie it was for that bit of bad behavior that Gene Wilder's character. Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
Stoner Thoughts.
Oh, Mr. Patalos is in the zone again. I can see that.
He's a rock star today.
Mr. Wilder's character was punishing the little boy because he was afraid he was going to sell his trade secrets.
Yeah.
So that he didn't want to give him anything. So that's why he's yelling at the little boy. I kind of remember that scene. My kids love that movie. So anyway, give us a call, 855-693-4897. You can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. Lisa gets those emails, and she will be happy to bring the ones that look important and look viable for the listeners. So those are the ones that we covered for today. Again, you can win that $25 gift card at Stevens Steakhouse, looking at Seat of Commerce. Compliments of Eddie Tafoya and Commerce Industrial Council. We do have a few minutes. Why don't we do the fun fact?
We do the fun fact?
Yeah,
Okay.
before the next segment, sure.
Okay. Well, Charles, a pretty boy Floyd, was Great Depression and a ERA gangster who was viewed positively by the general public. When he robbed banks, he would destroy what? Which freed man citizens of their debts? So, what is it? He would destroy what? When he robbed banks, he would destroy what?
When he robbed banks, he would destroy these documents, right? And so the question is, what would he destroy? And I believe this was back in the 1920s. Pretty Boy Floyd, in that era, was a gangster, right? And was actually positively viewed, right?
Okay.
So you would think
I know.
most gangsters were negatively viewed, right? So
But this guy was-
that's a fun fact. If you happen to know the answer to that, give us a call and win that $25 gift card, and we'll be happy
Can I
to send
call?
it out to you.
Can I call? I know.
Well, okay.
Hey,
Mr.
you know
Sheldon,
what? I kind of would
because-
like Charles Pretty Boy to kind of destroy my mortgage documents.
well, thanks for giving me the
I'm
answer
just
there.
kidding.
But let's
I
see if
know.
somebody wakes up. Yeah.
God!
What?
Well, maybe nobody caught it. You never know.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Real Estate Rant and AGR Realtors are proud supporters of Michael Aguilar and Associates, advocates for stroke awareness and integrative healthcare.
In February 2012, I suffered a stroke due to high blood pressure. I was rushed to the hospital where I was admitted for the next 30 days. I was initially told I may have to stay in the hospital for about 3 months, but I made rapid improvements in my recuperation and continued to improve to this day.
When Michael left the hospital, he did not have insurance to cover his rehabilitation, so he focused on integrative healthcare to get better. At the end of 2013, seeing a need for stroke awareness, Michael started his own company, Michael Aguilar and Associates, to focus on creating awareness about the dangers of high blood pressure and stroke.
If you would like more information, please call me at 562-464-7297, or you can visit my website at www.strokeawareness101.com.
Michael Aguilar and Associates, creating awareness and saving lives one person at a time.
Do we have your attention?
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home, at AGR and Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AGR and Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos Español.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio,
Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. on the Rant Radio Network.
where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems.
We are back at the Real Estate Radio Towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my co-host, Ms. Lisa Lombardi. In-house today, we have Mr. Sheldon Parker, MBA. He's from Parker Tax and Bookkeeping. You can reach him at 562 area code 652-7297, or you can email him at sheldon656@gmail.com, and that will be up throughout the show on the visual. If you happen to be listening, I'll repeat that again throughout the show. And welcome, Mr. Sheldon. How are you, sir?
I am doing really well, thank you.
Yes. So we'll just do a quick design deal one more time, and maybe we'll try the fun fact again just to straighten that one out. But Lisa did give the answer last time, and the funny part is on this show you can't rewind it. So let's see if anybody happens
Oh my
to get that.
gosh, I messed up. I apologize, gentlemen.
So you can try without your glasses again.
I'm going to put my glasses. That's my problem. I really don't like wearing these glasses, but I'm going to have to.
Right on.
Because I'm getting older here. Charles, Pretty Boy Floyd, was a Great Depression era gangster who was viewed positively by the general public. When he robbed banks, he would destroy what? Which freed many citizens of their debts.
Right on. So, okay.
Who's
so,
your daddy?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So if you...
I already said the answer.
Scary.
Well, Mr. Patelon's in the zone today. If you happen to get that, give us a call, 855-693-4897. If you happen to know the answer to that, again, you can Wikipedia it. Not considered cheating or at all, but give us a call. You can also win that $25 gift card if you happen to have a question for myself, Lisa, or Sheldon. Sheldon is here representing Parker Tax and Bookkeeping, and we had an interesting conversation outline that we put together, Sheldon and I, and I'll let Sheldon take it away. Sheldon, short interview about yourself, short introduction. I have to interview, right? We're already interviewing you, so
Exactly.
short introduction.
Well, I started off in banking, and I transitioned into doing taxes and bookkeeping. I've always liked numbers, so it seemed like an excellent fit. Now, a lot of my friends who were in banking when I first started kind of fell into it as an option for paying for college. I was one of the few people that actually, looked for a job in banking because I liked numbers. So as time progressed, I just became more and more enamored of it and just kind of fell into it and just got into the groove, and I'm here now.
Now you say like numbers. Was that one of your strong points?
Interesting enough, when I was in school, math was not. Math and I were always enemies. I didn't really struggle with math. I just, felt I was better at more liberal arts, more English, more history, stuff like that. I think it was all more in my head saying, it was the pull of math, and it wasn't like the end thing per se. So I was like, no, math is horrible for me. But as I got older and started really looking into a career, I found that I liked the ins and outs of math. I liked dating myself when we did actual ledgers, where you actually wrote down everything. It seemed tedious and monotonous to some people, but to me, I enjoyed it. It was almost relaxing, odd enough.
Right on now.
Wow.
You got Lisa mesmerized
She's like,
over here.
what?
Relaxing.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I never looked at numbers as being relaxing. That actually makes me more nervous than anything, I think. Would you say, Lisa?
Well, yeah, it would definitely make me nervous as well, too.
Yeah.
But I think, though, everybody's different. It's calm. But it would seem like with you, you said you were very good at English as well, too, right?
Yes. So, I think it comes down to who I am to my core is I'm very black and white, and it's either right or it's wrong.
Right.
And so that kind of sort of, I think, is what fed me into the numbers and really beginning to like it, because is the answer either 2 + 2 is 4 or 2 + 2 is not 4. 2 + 2 isn't 6, it's 4. And it never changes. So it was a constant. It was black and white. Whereas things like English and, history, it can change, depending on who's telling the story. And
there's a lot more gray area.
a lot more, exactly, a lot of
Okay.
gray area.
And we talked a little bit about that. We've had some other guests on the show Rick Ronquillo was on. He did body language, and there was a couple of other individuals about nutrition and that kind of thing. But we got a little bit into I don't know if Lisa was here. It might have been Alonso. Faye Pietrkowski was here, and we talked a little bit more about psychology, and she got into polarization. So what you just said right now was kind of a black and white kind of atmosphere. That's polarization, right? It's either one way or the other, and mathematics seems to be that in the business world anyway, right? So that's interesting. That's an interesting concept. Now when you were at banking, we talked about this a little bit, putting the outline together. Used a word that I probably haven't heard in banking before, and it was compliance. Now, understanding they all got to do compliance, but you did some kind of compliance stuff at the bank, right?
I did compliance for several years, and compliance is basically making sure that your department is following the guidelines set out by the government. Making sure that okay, I won't use acronyms because like
Go ahead. But we're going to ask you what they
what
mean.
do they mean? Like
That's for sure.
making sure they're using you're following the Bank Secrecy Act, making sure you're doing currency transaction reporting, making sure you're doing money logs, and just making sure that you're tracking everything. That's my job, was to go in and make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and there was no gray. There's always right or wrong, and your cash is correct, and you've counted everything, and a lot of auditing involved. So again, it falls back to just that this is how you do it, and there's no in the middle. I kind of sort of followed that track all the way through my career, even getting to where I am now, which is taxes and bookkeeping. Compliance just is, again, it's either right or it's wrong. So
Now I found I always look for visuals, because we have the visuals up on the screen, but I always look for visuals on the internet, and I found some funny ones, right? So if I can share that real quick, Mr. Sheldon, Mr. Pantalones, can we throw the visual up? Let's see. I thought this was funny. I'm looking at it, go, this is a good accounting thing. Spreading the payments over 3 years doesn't mean you make them every 36 months, right? So isn't that funny that people would think that, right? That people would even you sit in front of your mortgage consultant, and the guy's telling you, no, you're spreading the payments over.
out.
That's once a month for 36 months, right?
It's subjective, right? It's like, well, it depends on who you're talking to.
Do you ever fall on folks like that? When you're coming in with their tax problems and stuff?
No. Well,
That's a tough one.
that's a tough one. People don't really think about spreading it out. If they owe taxes, their whole thought is, I want to wait until the very last minute, and then I'll pay it all at one time. I always say, spread it out so it's not such a big hit. Sometimes it's just a small amount, but if you owe a large amount, it's always better to spread it out to make sure that you get it paid in time. You don't want to let it flip over to the next year and then add in to the next tax season.
So
I think all of I don't know.
I'm full of questions today. Lisa, you got anything?
No, I was just thinking with the
What?
taxes. I'm just so glad that I finally got that done.
We just
All
finished
right.
taxes,
Yes,
didn't we?
yes.
So that's what's on Lisa's
Yeah.
mind, right? She got her
Yeah.
tax done, right on.
Woohoo.
Yes.
So you made the jump now because you were in banking.
Bazinga!
For quite some time.
You made the jump now into your own personal business. Why
Yes.
make the jump?
Well, as we all know, banking has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's by acquisition. And in my
Can I interject there just one
Yes.
second? There was something that I saw. I think it was on the internet that they said 582 financial institutions had closed in the late 2000s. 582. So to your point, the financial institutions are shrinking.
Yeah, they're shrinking. You're having several large banks,
Big banks.
kind of coming in and gobbling up, for lack of a better
The
term,
smaller ones.
The smaller ones. And I happened to work at a lot of smaller banks that were acquired, and I ended up being at a big bank. And it had its moments, but as you know, at big banks, sometimes, I at that time was in middle management, and whenever they want to cut, they start with middle management. So I got caught in one of those cuts, and decided, hey, I'll try a different state. I used to go to Georgia a lot, so I decided to move to Georgia and try it out there. I got there and thought, hey, here's an opportunity for me to try something new. in the same field, in the same finance field, but to give me more freedom, more time. I have kids, spend more time with them. So I got into bookkeeping, which actually was very similar to banking, and I was very interested in it. And then when I decided to transition back to California, my first thought was, hey, I'm in a larger city. There's lots of banks. Let me just get back into the groove, kind of hop in, feet first, start running. But when I looked around and started, really seeing what was out there and thinking about the rat race I was getting back into and then where I came from, I thought, hey, there has to be a better option, has to be a better choice. And that's when I started researching, doing my own business and using my skill set for myself opposed to someone else.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm visualizing something right now, Sheldon. So you used to work at a bank. And you made the jump into bookkeeping, but I'm visualizing something. If I was working at a bank, this is what I would be thinking. Did you ever walk out with a bag of money, man?
No, I don't think so, Alex.
I don't think that because you keep in mind, it's not my money.
All right,
Yes.
don't be me, right? Don't be me. What am I thinking, right?
Unless you like stripes or orange.
Or breaking rocks.
Absolutely.
Breaking rocks.
Breaking rocks, right?
Breaking rocks.
Some wrought irons.
Wrought iron, exactly,
With the ball and chain, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got one of those.
And,
The silver bracelets.
yeah, you're stuck. You're stuck
Oh,
there.
man, that was just a bad joke, What can I say?
So what you do, does it take a license? I know that there is CPAs out there that do taxes, that they have to have a license. Is it actually when you're doing someone's taxes, do you have to have a license?
It's not a license, it's a certification.
Certifications, okay.
CTEC stands for the California Tax Education Council. And a lot of your large tax companies, they offer classes, and it's a 6-week class. You pay for it, and generally the instructor is someone who's been doing taxes for a while. The person I trained with was doing taxes for over 20 years, and he had a lot of insight. He offered a lot of information, and he's still available to me if I have questions. Things that are unusual, I can call him and say, hey, have you ever seen this? How did you handle this? What do I need to do? You have to be licensed every year. You have to renew your certification. You have to do continuing education. You have to get so many hours. The IRS offers online webinar classes, which is what I do. Is just throughout the year, I take a webinar and I get 1 CE credit here, 3 CE credit there. So.
Nice.
Okay, well, you better hold that thought, and we'll be right back with AtRadioNetwork.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
It's one thing to own a business. It's another to promote it. That's why thousands of business owners rely on Monster Marketing Group. Design, print, mail, custom mailers, all for as little as 29 cents delivered. That includes postage. Send to a neighborhood, zip code, or an entire city. With just a simple call, 888-49-MONSTER, you can easily promote your business, sales, events, grand openings, send coupons, and much more.
Your mail delivers in as little as 5 days. No dealing with the mailing list or paperwork. Monster Marketing does all the heavy lifting. Get started now by calling 888-49-MONSTER or go to monsterng.com.
Monster Marketing Group. We deliver, we give you results, we can prove it.
Real Estate Rant and AGR Realtors are proud supporters of Michael Aguilar and Associates, advocates for stroke awareness and integrative healthcare.
In February 2012, I suffered a stroke due to high blood pressure. I was rushed to the hospital where I was admitted for the next 30 days. I was initially told I may have to stay in the hospital for about 3 months, but I made rapid improvements in my recuperation and continued to improve to this day.
When Michael left the hospital, he did not have insurance to cover his rehabilitation, so he focused on integrative healthcare to get better. At the end of 2013, seeing a need for stroke awareness, Michael started his own company, Michael Aguilar and Associates, to focus on creating awareness about the dangers of high blood pressure and stroke.
If you would like more information, please call me at 562-464-7297, or you can visit my website at www.strokeawareness101.com.
Michael Aguilar and Associates, creating awareness and saving lives one person at a time.
The expert experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
It's hot out here. I need a drink. Have a mucho macho michelada. What's a michelada? Michelada is a Mexican Bloody Mary made with beer. All you have to do is get bucket-sized michelada, open it up, pour it in your favorite beer, and you're good.
What if you don't like beer?
You can use it in lemon lime soda, vodka with lime, or tequila with lemon lime soda.
Sounds delicious. Where do you find it?
You can find it at your favorite store, or you can go to muchomachomichelada.com.
Find us on Twitter and Facebook.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio,
Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. on the Rant Radio Network.
where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems.
And we're back here at the Real Estate Rant here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network, top of the hour here on a Wednesday afternoon. Mike, what day is it? To my left, Miss Lisa Lombardi.
Hello, hello.
How are you? And I keep saying this hot winter afternoon. That's exactly what it is. I want to say my thermostat said about 83 degrees. Isn't May like the end of winter? Or are we already in fall?
Well, you know what?
I mean, not fall,
California,
autumn?
we really know this. I mean, we really don't know if we have sun, rain, or it's kind of crazy. And then we have June gloom that's going to be coming up. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, just last weekend it was pouring rain.
Well, you know what's so sad, you guys? I went to Arizona. I went to Scottsdale, Arizona last weekend, and we were supposed to have fun in the sun, lay out, just kind of hang out. And unfortunately, it was raining pretty much all weekend.
You do a lot of that, Lisa.
And unfortunately, we went shopping.
How do I get a job? More shopping.
We went shopping, us women. It was a girls' weekend.
Wow. How do I get a job like yours?
Hey, come on. You know, all you have to do is, but you have you have kids.
Yeah.
I don't have any children. It's a little different.
Yeah, that's true.
You
That's
take good
true.
care of, and you know what? Kids are the best gift. So I'll tell you, a new dress
want
or
one?
hey, I'll tell you, I would love one. Kids are the best gift.
Come to my house and take a pic. I got to pick a little litter there.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Yeah, right. You'll take a bullet for those little girls. I'll tell you.
Y'all make me holler, honey, boo boo.
That's right. That's right.
But I'll tell you though, a couple of my friends are married. And they all actually 2 of them that went with me have 4 kids.
But
a
they
piece.
they
Yeah.
left them home.
Their husbands are fine. They're like, hey, you know what? You can go out.
Nice,
You could go out, enjoy yourself for 2 days.
No, I know my wife. My wife would allow me to do that, but to be totally honest with you, I wouldn't be comfortable taking off and having her there with all the girls. You know what I mean?
Well, we're just going to dinner and just hanging and relaxing, going to the spa.
No, but that's why I don't go and do that stuff. You know, that's why I don't go. I could, you know.
Right.
And she tells me, "Hey, why don't you go with your friends?" You know, she wants to get rid of me. I'm like, I can't.
Why is he doing that? Crying? Is someone going to be crying if someone leaves?
I know exactly why he's doing that. He's teasing me.
I know.
Anyway, give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. Visiting us today, Mr. Esteemed, Mr. Sheldon Parker, MBA from Parker Tax and Bookkeeping. I can't even say it. Bookkeeping. You can reach him at 562 area code 652-7297, or you can email him at sheldon656@gmail.com. His information will be up on the visual throughout the show, but if you happen to be listening, that verbal version will be on the SoundCloud later on this week. You can also YouTube it at Real Estate Rant, and just remember the date. May 20th, and you can get information on the tax information that Sheldon is sharing with us today. Also, you can win that $25 gift card to Steven's Steakhouse. If you happen to get this particular design, if we can throw that up again, Mr. Pantalones, we throw up the design deal. You can win that $25 gift card to Steven's Steakhouse, located in the City of Commerce, compliments of Eddie Tafoya and the Commerce Industrial Council.
We were waiting, Sheldon, huh?
Yes.
There it is.
And there it is. Any idea without saying it out loud? Any idea what that might be? That's.
I think so. I think I know what it is.
You know what it is?
I think
Okay,
so.
right on.
I think so too.
Lisa, you good with that?
Yes.
I
better not say
actually
the answer.
I actually made this, and I'm a little confused. I purposely put in the 2 other answers that could be right, And so I'm trying to remember which one it was. So I'll have to wait till the end of the show to find out, right? Yeah. So it's because I usually print it out here, but I didn't print it out this time. So anyway, if you get that particular design, you can Wikipedia it and call us in and win that $25 gift card, 855-693-4897. Back to Mr. Sheldon. And I think Lisa wanted to head the questions.
Yes, I want to say, what is the common mistake that people make when they run a business, their own business, like if they have an insurance company or their own restaurant?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest mistake they make is not hiring a bookkeeper. And I'm not saying that to promote myself. It sounds that way, but no.
Sure you are, Sheldon. I mean, come on. I mean, isn't that why bookkeepers are there? I mean, you really need them.
You do need them because you want to be able to focus on your business, and the finance piece can become very cumbersome, particularly if it's not your field. If you're a chef and you've gone to culinary school and your thing is to cook, they will teach you. Like most if you're a doctor or whatever, they do have a business portion of the class. So if you're in a culinary class, they do have a portion to show you, okay, this is how you run your business. But if you're running a restaurant and it's a popular restaurant, you're very, very busy. And to take that time at the end of your evening, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, then to do your books, you're asking for errors. And it's not your specialty. So
I'll tell you, as a business owner, it's one of those things that you get to the end of the day because you're really your own boss and you have to be self-disciplined. It's one of those things that at the end of the day, say, you know what, I'm going to put this off till tomorrow. And that just keeps happening over and over. Before you know it, you're knee deep in bookkeeping. Yeah. And absolutely, you need somebody there paying attention to it every day.
I mean, I am a bookkeeper.
Well, my dad has owned his own painting contractor business for a very long time. And, 40, 50 years, something like that, crazy. It's been passed on. And he definitely has a bookkeeper.
Yeah. I mean, I do books, and I do my own books. And even being a bookkeeper, sometimes I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm just like, okay, now I have to do my own books. So, and I do it all the time. But it can become tedious. It's just.
Do you see a lot of people, a lot of business owners that don't keep good track, of their own bookkeeping?
I do see a lot of business owners who are struggling.
Yes.
Because a lot of small businesses they kind of sort of shy away from the finance piece because they don't have a clear understanding of it. So they put it off, thinking, "Well, I'll get to it. I'll research it. I'll get a book. I'll figure it out." And then by the time they have the chance to get to it, it's just become this big, huge monster. And it's just like, where do I start? Where do I start? And they don't even want to begin. It's like having a hoarder. It's like being in a hoarder's house, and there's a mess everywhere. And you're like, where do I start? What do I move first? It just becomes overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to ask then, if you get some pile of papers like that, I mean, pretty much somebody wants to throw their mess on you. Do you charge more for that?
No, I don't. I really don't. It's just It's an hourly rate. It's a flat. It depends on your choice. If you choose a flat rate, that's fine. But any research is hourly. So if I'm sitting down and going through all your statements and separating your receipts and trying to figure out which is business and which is personal, it may add up to more because it takes more time, opposed to bringing something that's in a recording file, organized, dated, where I can just pull it out and just plug in the numbers. So it all just comes down to the amount of time that I have to put into actually getting it ready before I can even input anything.
Yeah, it's because you made the relation to a hoarder, man. That was what I was picturing. Yeah. I'm picturing like a desk just full of papers, and you got to try and sort all that stuff out,
It was great. My stepfather, he was very good at organizing all his paperwork. Mm-hmm. I remember as a young kid, I'd always see him.
Yes.
Organizing everything for his bookkeeper.
Exactly.
Getting everything settled. So as a tax person, do you give advice, or is there certain things that you can't advise on as well?
Well, anything that involves like investments.
Right.
You have to be a licensed person to do that. I don't have the 63 or 6, 7 to do those items. I can always suggest, but like you say here, it's just a suggestion. I always advise people to go to a licensed person for investments. I can only use my experience from banking because at one point I was fully licensed.
Right.
And things don't change that much. So I can always advise on what I think they should do, but always refer them to either refer them to an investment person or have them go to their own if they have someone. So
there's different methods on of things that you do. Yeah. And you mentioned the word accrued. What does that mean?
Well, it's like accrued and then there's cash. types of businesses.
In terms of the methods?
In terms of the method. So accrued method is where, say you're purchasing something or you're working for someone and you're invoicing them. You're sending them a bill, basically. When you're posting it, bookkeeping or for bookkeeping, you show on there that this money is coming in. You're recording it before you physically get the money. You're like anticipating it. It's going to come in. Cash is where I physically give you the money. I don't show that I've received anything or paid any expenses until I actually do it. I might send you an invoice, but until you actually pay me, I don't show anything on my books. I don't show that I have any money. Only when I get the physical cash in hand. So most businesses are cash, because generally it's, even with me, I do an invoice and then I hand it to the client and they pay me right there. Swipe it, it's done, it's paid, I post it. Say I was a manufacturer and I do widgets and you order 1,000 widgets from me. Well, I have to send you the product first before I can get paid. I invoice you. I'm probably going to work more on accrued because I want to show what's coming in. Like a budget, I want to forecast what my income is going to be. So I will put down what I anticipate from you. But the downside to that is if you don't pay me on time and I've used that money anticipating it, I could be in a bind. So
I see. You use that magical word, Sheldon, cash.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear that when it comes to taxes, it almost like doesn't even fit. Like it's two different things. Because it's just because I hear of you think about. I mean, not me personally, but you think about other folks that are working under a cash situation, and now that's their ability now to kind of get away from paying some of the taxes that they might owe, right? Do you find yourself in those situations? I mean, with clients,
you can. Conceivably, you can find yourself in that position.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot. Right, you can tell me none of my business. I'm just curious about that.
It's it can be talked about without really pointing a finger. And there are a lot of businesses. Primary example, and say you have a gas station. Some gas stations will say cash and some will say credit.
Yeah.
And you have a different price for cash than you do for credit. And generally, you think that's because your bank will charge you a fee for the merchant processing portion of the credit. When you use your credit card, you swipe it. There's a company that's intermediary, merchant processing, which charges you a fee. So they will charge you more on the gas because they're paying more. But it also comes down to, if I'm giving you cash, you can be writing 2 registers. One for cash and one for credit checks. So the cash one, some people could technically not report that, because how can you track it? You have no way of tracking it. Whereas with credit and checks, you can. So if I'm working with a client, and they have cash and credit, I just kind of watch their spending habits. And if what they're spending doesn't match up to what they're showing me or what I'm getting, I will just say to them, it's a little discrepancy in what you're spending and what you're giving me. And that could create an audit situation. So they're aware of it. Just in case you get audited, I want you to know you're aware of it.
Okay, well, we are coming up on a break. Give us a call, 855-693-4897 if you have a question for myself, Lisa, or Sheldon. But we're coming up on segment number 4.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotectsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at Protect. Just reminding you that Protect Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
Business that needs to get noticed, your ideas need a great website. And at Infuse, we build simple, clean, and efficient websites. We believe that even the wildest ideas should come to life in a beautiful way. We build responsive sites, e-commerce sites, and even help with business email setup and search engine optimization. Every great idea needs a great website. Start your new look today. Check us out at www.infuse.com. That's www.enfuse.com, or call us at 800-542-4783. Again, that's 800-542-4783. Infuse, we get it done.
Looking for some swag? Make sure to check out monsterclothing.com. They got everything from V-necks, t-shirts, hoodies, baby dolls. And remember, custom orders are always welcome, and much more. They're just not on the site yet. www.monsterclothingco.com, or call them at 888-49-MONSTER. 888-49-MONSTER. Hablamos español. Doo-doo-doo!
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio,
Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. on the Rant Radio Network.
where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems.
And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left, Miss Lisa Lombardi. In the house today, we have Mr. Sheldon A. Parker, MBA, Bookkeeping and Tax Preparation Service. You can reach him at 562 area code 652-7297, or you can email him at sheldon656@gmail.com. That information will go up periodically throughout the final segment of the show. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Sheldon. We were talking about a couple things, but why don't we finish up with the fun fact?
Oh, okay. The fun fact. I got my glasses on now, Alex. Okay, well, here we go. Charles, a pretty boy, so I guess he's very pretty, huh? Floyd was a Great Depression era gangster who was viewed positively by the general public. When he robbed banks, he would destroy what? Which free many citizens of their debts.
Yeah, so this particular item freed many citizens of their debt. So when he'd rob the bank, he would destroy what, Lisa?
Well, I already said it earlier. Do you want me to say it?
Please.
Please,
Share
please.
that with us.
Mortgage documents.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Going into a bank. I mean, this is back when mortgage documents were protected, right?
Yeah.
The CFPB, we just talked about that. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is that's one of the reasons why that bureau is becoming about, mainly because for identity theft. But back then, those mortgage documents, I want to say it was the 1920s, were just available there in the bank, and if somebody broke in and happened to get to them, there's no record of those mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that?
Wow.
That was
Free and
huge.
clear.
That was huge.
That'd
Can you
be great
imagine?
and free and clear.
God, if we could do that today, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yes. So give us a call, 855-693-4897. We got no phone calls today, so nobody won that gift card. Looks like Lisa and I might be having dinner again at Steven's Steakhouse.
We haven't done that yet.
Although you did mention the salsa dancing.
There's some salsa dancing there on Friday nights.
Yeah, so I haven't been. So you salsa dancing. Well, I've asked you like 4 times already.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It was funny. I actually went. I was over in Hollywood. Like you're always saying, I'm doing something, but it was one of my best friend's birthday.
Did you have a Louis Vuitton purse?
Yes, I do.
See. Oh yeah, well you don't have it with you, but
No.
But I picture you with a Louis Vuitton purse, maybe some Prada shoes,
No, I'm more of an Italian girl. That was a gift from an ex, but
was it really?
but I am definitely a Gucci girl.
Oh, okay, Gucci. There you go, yeah.
Gucci. But I was saying, I love when you go to a live band. It's nice to hear a live band, with salsa.
Right on.
And that's where I was about 2 weeks ago, and it was really nice to be somewhere. I always like live music.
Yeah. So.
Okay, let me finish here.
Please.
So we haven't got any answers. So unfortunately, as we said, we talked about Pretty Boy Floyd. He did the mortgage documents. But back to Sheldon. Sheldon, I wanted to ask you: is there a lot of people out there too? And I'm sure you know this: is that they do their own taxes and they get
Yes.
themselves in trouble at times?
They can.
Yeah.
They can definitely do that. The biggest thing now is TurboTax. Everyone wants to use TurboTax, and then those programs are good. I mean, I'm not knocking those programs at all. The downside to it is you don't have someone like myself. Like for me, I make it a point to ask my clients a lot of questions. Doing taxes is very personal. You ask a lot of personal questions, about kids and parents and missing parents and you know the work and how they make their money and dependent care and who watches your kids. It sounds very. Some people get very leery, like, why do you care who watches my kid? What are you trying to what are you trying to find out about me? And it's like I just need to know these things because you can get a write-off, it's a deduction for you. So I want to get my clients the most as possible write-offs as I can. And if you're doing TurboTax, no one's asking you those questions, and they don't know that they can get those write-offs done. So.
No, absolutely. No, because I mean,
I'm hearing kids, and I'm thinking, who's in the studio, right?
Someone in the studio
right
there?
on. Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's Mr. Pantalones himself. All right.
Okay.
Real quick, Mr. Pantalones, so let's throw up the answer to the design deal. We did not get any answers to this design deal, but let me see, Mr. Sheldon, is this a right answer that you had in mind? That is a federal building.
No,
that wasn't.
Which one were you thinking?
I chose A.
I chose A too,
So
Sheldon.
the New
Yeah.
England Colonial. Okay, yeah. So believe it or not, the New England Colonial looks nothing like that, but it does sound like it does, doesn't it? The words kind of match the building, So anyway, federal just doesn't fall into that category. I've never actually heard of a federal, but that's what shows up on Wikipedia. So you're welcome to look it up if you think that that is incorrect. But that is where I got it from, and compliments of that particular forum, if you will. So
I guess I should stick to my current trade.
yeah, exactly.
So I want to ask you another question, if you
Sure.
don't mind, Alex.
Yeah,
So what
please.
do we need if we are W-2 employees?
Well, you need your W-2 when it comes from your employer. Bring any information that deals with any investments, like a 1099 div or 1099 interest, which comes from your bank. If you have college-age students, the 1099-T, which shows that they paid for school. It allows you to do your American Opportunity Credit or Lifetime Credit. You need that 1099-T. Any receipts, particularly with donations. Like say you give clothing to the what do you call it?
I always give my donations to the women's shelter, like clothes.
Women's
Yeah,
shelter, Goodwill. They'll give you a form.
Yep,
form.
they do.
And
Yeah.
it's always good if you itemize. If you kind of have a good idea. If it's just all pants, mostly women, they'll buy like a lot of like name brand clothing, and they're expensive. And so when you donate, bags and bags of suits and dresses and your name brand, you can pay up to $150, $300 for a dress.
Oh, you know what? I never knew that. So you should put the name of the
Yeah, so you can-
designer.
Yeah, that way it gives, like when a client brings that to me, I kind of have an idea of what this particular item costs new. And then, I can usually estimate on what it will cost, off at like Super Saver or Goodwill. Because you don't really have a direct idea, but I do go to like Goodwill and Super Saver and see what they have, to see what they're charging. That way when I put it, because on your taxes, you have to list what it is and a dollar value. You have to put a dollar value on it. So that way, if for some reason they do audit you and they ask, you have an idea, okay, this is what the person gave, and you can estimate. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to at least show that I have some proof.
Now, in terms of an audit, now this kind of brings up a question. So it sounds like you do a lot of research doing that stuff.
I do,
and
yeah.
putting it together. But does that, if the return they're getting when the IRS gets it, is that detailed? Do you find that those get less audited, or does it have nothing to do with that?
It doesn't have really anything to do with it. It's if you have a small amount, say you're saying you donate $300, chances of them auditing you on that are very small. But some of my clients like donate 3 and 4 times a year, computers and kitchenware and furniture and all these Jimmy Choo shoes and bags, and they come in like, oh yeah, I donated $7,000. That's a large amount of money.
Whoa.
And over a certain amount, you have to itemize it on your taxes. So if you say I donated $7,000 and then you don't show what it was, they're gonna be like, well, wait a minute, hold up a second. I need to see something. Maybe they forgot to add it, forgot to put it in. So they'll just send you a notice saying we need documentation identifying what items made up this $7,000. So
wow. Okay, what about corporations? I know there's a saying about piercing the corporate veil.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with what you do?
I don't really think so. I mean, I know with like corporations, I have a few clients and I advise them. Okay, with corporations, you can have dual taxation, which means that when you create a corporation, the corporation is taxed, on the corporate tax. But then the individual, say you're the owner, you get dividends, you're taxed on that. So it's called dual taxation. And I don't want to say a way to avoid it, but another option is to do an S corporation. An S corporation allows you to have corporate status, but you pay taxes through your individual tax rate. So you're not paying twice, you're only paying once. The downside to that is if, say, you're a single individual, you have no deductions, you don't have any kids, you don't have anything, your company can make a large amount of money. All that revenue, it comes down to you. Even if you've paid out a lot, at the end of the day, it's your gross income that you're taxed on. So
nice. All right, so I don't know. I'm feeling kind of taxi right now.
Are you taxed?
I guess that's not the right word. Not taxi, but taxed, right? Yeah. I feel a little taxed.
Is it important, folks, to consult with you about life-changing events?
It is. It can really have an impact. If you have, if you get divorced, if your spouse is deceased, if you have a child, if God forbid you lose a child, sell your house, buy a house, sell your car, buy a car, get a new job, because say you get a new job and it requires you to buy special clothing. Say you're a welder. Anything that you purchase for your job that you can't wear every day, like a welder's helmet. Say your job gives you $100 for a welder's helmet, but it costs you $150. Well, yes, they reimburse you $100, but out of your pocket was $50, so that's write off. You can write that off. If you belong to a union, your union dues are taxed. You can write those off. So it's important that whenever you change something in your life, contact the tax person and say, hey, this is happening. How is this going to impact me? What do I need? What do I need to save? I'm taking a class to improve to get this new promotion in my job. Oh, okay. Keep the receipts. Tuition you can write off. You can do the lifetime credit. There's lots of other options that people don't know about, and they don't get the benefit if they don't ask because they don't know. So
yeah, I mean, it seems to be the only time that I ever talk to my tax person is right before April 14th, right, or whatever the date is. That seems to be the only time. But what you're suggesting is that we're talking to these individuals, whether it be yourself or whether it be another tax professional. We should be talking to them on a regular basis and telling them what's going on in our lives.
Exactly.
Because then you can consult with them and tell them, oh, you know what? I need those receipts. I need this. I need that.
Yeah.
So are you compiling this information as you get it, or do you just wait to the end of the year? I mean, how does that work?
Well, for me, I either reach out via telephone or just via letter. Hey, this is Sheldon. Just kind of checking in, what's going on, any changes in your life. And I always say, regardless of how small, just tell me and let me decide for you. Not decide for you, but let you know if it's really going to have an impact on you. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
I have a lot of my clients, I know them on Facebook. We're friends on Facebook, and they'll say, hey, they'll just post, I'm taking a class for this for my job. And I'll just send a little message, keep the receipt. Oh, okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
It's always good to reach out and ask. So.
All right, well, Mr. Sheldon, thank you for joining us. We are coming up on the end of the show, and to the listeners, thank you for joining us. We will be here same time, same place here at the Rant Radio Network. Lisa, thanks again for helping out.
Thank you, Alex, for having us.
All
and
right.
Thank you, Sheldon, for being here, too.
Yeah, pretty soon Lisa will be running the show, right?
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio.
Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
on the Rant Radio Network, where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems.
The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized
to give advice in two areas: legal matters and tax matters.